It's been no secret that I am a large fan of Breitling. They have a rich brand history, and I think they make some really great sport watches. George Kern took over as brand CEO in 2017, and from that point, I've noticed a shift from Breitling. And in simple form, Breitling has slightly altered their designs. They are now universally more comfortable wearing watches. They have more color. They're slightly simpler in the dial layout, and I think there are also more design elements that are taken from famous past models. So I like that. I think Breitling strikes a great balance between celebrating the past and then forging ahead into the future. Breitling has also adjusted their boutique customer experience, and I think the brand seems more relaxed, a little bit more approachable, and better geared to a younger generation. So I think that this is not your father's Breitling. It definitely is a new era of Breitling, and one that I think most appeals to those around, the age of 30 or so, maybe a little bit younger than that. And I really like that. I think we need the younger generation to get into luxury watches. Now, in the past several years, we have seen redesigns from Breitling or introductions of very iconic lines. They've done this with the Chronomat, they've done this with the Navitimer, the Premier, the Super Ocean, and now here with the Avenger. So I have the Avenger Automatic 42, the Automatic 44 GMT, and the BO1 Chronograph 44 to showcase for you today. So I'll start with this three-hander. This is a 300-meter water-resistant diver that clocks in at only 12.1 in overall height. This has the distinctive brushed stainless steel bezel that has the keystone style rider tabs. This is very Breitling. I really like that. These are meant to really be easy to grip, especially if you're a pilot wearing gloves. The bezel action is very nice. It has a satisfying mechanical feel, zero backplay, and then a large luminous circle for marking the timing event start if that happens in the dark. Now I'll show you the lume shot of all three. This has a good application of superluminova. It's bright, desaturated white and natural light, but will glow a green tone in low light conditions. Now let's move to the 44 GMT. This will be a traditional dual time, so it keeps track of a secondary time zone or a third time zone if you utilize this bezel. It is not, however, a true GMT as we watch collectors like to refer to that complication. That is one where you can independently adjust the local hour hand forward or backward without disrupting the timekeeping. This, though, again, is the dual time. I personally like the larger size of this new case compared to the 42 automatic. I like how the stainless steel bezel now has black hour indexing, and that allows for higher contrast. I think this is noticeably easier to read at a glance. And then let's go to this chronograph variation. This will be the same diameter as the GMT, but we'll have a lot more going on visually. So note the three sub-registers on the dial that have a hidden date over at the 6 o'clock position. These date wheels will be color matched to the sub-dial, and that makes the overall appearance a little bit more unified. This also has the same Avenger-style steel bezel and will be the only watch of the three that will carry an open work case back. So I like the fact that you can see this BO1 movement within. It is beautifully finished. And I like how Breitling has begun to skeletonize their automatic winding rotors. I think it really helps with the aesthetics. Now, I know I didn't spend a lot of time on each model specifically, but each will share a few things that I want to focus on as I wrap up this presentation, and I'll begin with the revamped case. To me, this still looks like an aggressive sports case, and I like that myself. The dominant finish will be brushing, although there are some high polish areas, and there's even a frosted area or a matte finish area. This is most apparent on the case edges. Note the stepped shoulder here. This is a new design feature. The main portion of the lug will be brushed over, on the top, as is the side wall of the case, but the top of this case step will be frosted, and I really like that look. I think that looks great. Although this looks abrupt, it's not harsh to the touch. Now, I've owned a prior generation of the Avenger. From my collector memory, it wore a lot longer than this new updated version does. I think the thinness of the non-chronographs, the flat stainless steel case backs, and then those short lug-to-lug distances will make each of these two versions very comfortable on a wide range of wrist sizes. And for reference, my wrist is 7.25 inches in circumference. Each Avenger will have a brushed professional bracelet, and I absolutely love the diagonal shape of the links. This is distinctively Breitling when it comes to the design. All of the bracelets will have Breitling's new milled clasp, and this will have a twin trigger release, nice finish work, a signature. It's all milled, and the best part is a toolless micro adjustment on the underside of the clasp. I was really happy to see Breitling roll this design out last year. They may have been a little late to the market trend, but they certainly have produced a very nice modern sports clasp. Each Avenger will have the retro B style logo on the dial. There is also, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit less text on the dial compared to prior generations. So I think they look simpler and a little bit stronger when it comes to just the overall design. Each of these models will make use of the color red as a dial accent. I think that looks really nice, and it's also found on the tip of the running seconds hand. On the BO1 Chronograph 44, there will be no area to sign Avenger in red, and that's just due to the three sub-registers for the chronograph. But there will be red on the chronograph seconds tip, and then various places on the indexing. I think this looks really great from an aesthetic standpoint. Now, I like how Breitling have launched the new Avenger line with unique dial colors. They didn't just do black and blue. They also went with green, with khaki or sand, and then a lighter mint green color, along with a yellow and a carbon composite dial that are placed in the ceramic versions of this new case. So I think they did a great job at offering some consumer choice. The colors are nice, but the lack of a sunray finish or a lacquer finish just helps these dials strengthen that toolish nature of the overall intent and execution, and I think that works really well. Lastly, each Breitling will come with a sapphire crystal that it's just second to none when it comes to the anti-reflective treatment. I love how Breitling does this. The clarity is excellent, and then that hint of an iridescent blue sheen from reflected, direct light sources adds a nice visual element. Now, I will end with my own opinion on the overall package, the overall value. You may or may not agree with me here, but I will reiterate, I really like the direction of the design. This still feels very much like a bold Breitling sports piece, but now it's a little bit more refined. It's more comfortable, and I think it's a little bit more approachable by the younger generation. I love the tactile feel of the bezels. I love the tactile feel of the chronograph function pushers, that column wheel there within the BO1. I love the professional bracelets. I love this new quick adjust clasp. I think these watches are very capable for a daily wear luxury piece. And I also like how every Breitling comes with a COSC certified movement. But what Breitling, I think, needs to be cognizant of is the perceived value. It's going to be hard for the average watch collector these days to spend $4 or $5 or approaching $6,000 on a nice COSC certified Solita or ETA caliber. Not when there are competing brands offering in-house calibers with improved movement specifications or more stringent performance certifications at similar price points. So this will be true of the Automatic 42 and then that Automatic 44 GMT. I know there will be some give and take. I know that there will be some watch collectors who don't want to return to Breitling, at least with the non-chronograph models, until there is a little bit more perceived movement value. Breitling, however, is an industry leader when it comes to producing chronographs. They do that so very well. The specs, the tech, the finishing, I think is all worthy of the retail price. And I'm glad that they chose to show it off in this new Chronograph 44. It helps me see where the value really lies. That all said, I want to thank Breitling for allowing me a week with this new release. It was an absolute pleasure to film these watches and to share my opinions with those of you watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will respond to you in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please leave me a like. And if you would like to support me and help me grow, please subscribe. Thank you.